Well, hello there, ladies and invis. Don't assume you've caught me at a rather inappropriate time. I find it no better than a moment like this to propose to you my profound love for the best genre of all. Magic, swords, dragons, legal murder. Beside you, that's right. It's fantasy. Today I'd like to... Where was I? Today I'd like to tell you a story containing all of these great, wonderful things. Set in a land far, far away, thrown into the world of a certain manga called Tower Dungeon. The story begins with a forlorn princess of unbridled Caucasian beauty quivering in the throes of an evil being resembling her father, the very king of her kingdom. Or at least, that's what we thought. "The king's already dead," says the great evil being, revealing himself to be a powerful creature of unknown origin, also known as a necromancer. With the white woman in his grasp, he beckons to the heavens, calling upon an ancient structure ever looming in the clouds above, summoning to his stead the enigmatic arcane dungeon of spoken legend, the Dragon's Tower, which abruptly brings us a day later to the homestead of the hero of the story, Yuba, renowned thrower of feed, who has just set out into his quaint little village of farmers to fulfill his daily tasks, such as throwing feed to these weird little bird things and carrying a ludicrous amount of firewood through the town because, yes, that's right, this is one of those manga plots where the main character is generally weak but manages to be a cut above the rest because they have insane super strength for some bullshit as reason type stories, which is totally not overdone. But that's besides the point. Yuva's a strong boy, he's a big fella. Farmland raised, corn fed, working the fields day in and day out, earning his keep. It's humble living, but hey, country boys make do now, don't they? Very little did corn-fed Yuva, his little sister Fanapa, and their grandparents know what was to come for them in their village, as news had already begun to spread of the great tower that descended on the distant horizon. Yuva descends into his beautiful village, seemingly made exclusively of stone and mountainside, which to say is a really nice design choice and aesthetic for the setting of this manga, and complements its art style just like so well. I'm not kidding. 80% of the backgrounds in this manga are quiet villages or treacherous dungeons in entirely stone. And we shall pour one out for Tsutomu Nihei's likely arthritis Latin wrist joints for rendering so many fucking bricks. Oh yeah, I failed to mention that Tower Dungeon is written and illustrated by Tsutomu Nihei, who made Blame and a bunch of other insane works, which I did not know and would not have known until after finishing my reading of Tower Dungeon. Nihei has had skin in the manga game for decades and is still working by his lonesome to make absolute bangers. I'd like to glaze a little more, but we'll save that for later. Now back to the story. As Yuva heads to drop off an actual truckload of firewood, he happens to overhear some villagers convening on the ongoing Dragon's Tower gossip, where we learn that the kingdom is conscripting soldiers from the constituents residing in various villages within the kingdom to go save the princess in which the evil necromancer has kidnapped into the tower, or be forced to pay almost half a ton in grain to the monarchy instead. Give up an entire season of manual labor and profits, or send away the neighbor's 22-year-old kid who dropped out of scribe school and just sits around all day trying to make your sheep kiss each other. Making this too easy for me, man. When Yuva's name pops up as a possible candidate, a young girl protests who I genuinely thought was Yuva's little sister, but ended up being a completely different blonde white woman entirely. I'll be letting you know in advance, there are a lot of blondes in this manga, and I'm being so serious. I know this is fiction, And it's also black and white manga, but I'm pretty sure the IRL medieval Europe counterpart of this manga was less sun bleached. I've seen entire House of the Dragon episodes with less sun shining from the peaks of people's scalps. I know I'm molding on you recessive traders out there, but this has genuinely made this manga harder to read sometimes. I can't tell these people apart. Have you actually read Attack on Titan? Like from the start? If you have, you'll know how I feel. It's the same thing. Like 60% of the cast has their hair colored with black ink. It's nigh impossible to not get lost, but I digress. Also, this girl is not important at all. Like, she's not known. Farmer Boy himself steps up to the plate and is all like, oh, yeah, I'm game. So he sets off at the support of his grandparents and the protests of his little sister Finapa. We are never shaking this clingy little sister trope, are we? And he sets heel for the dragon's tower at the behest of the princess's army. Yuva and some other conscripts that also got rounded up arrive at the fortress sitting at the foot of the tower where the kingdom's army had already taken up camp, and from the looks of it, they have been absolutely getting their shit pushed in. Look at this chick in particular. They f***ed you up, man. Me personally, oh man, you're actually Captain Minstrel, the princess's sister and current general leading this absolutely failing military operation to save her.
If you ask me, they should have named her Captain Miserable, know what I mean? Yeah, man, women shouldn't be in positions of power. What?
Pretty much the entire battalion has been getting rolled by some terrible creature residing in the tower who'd already kidnapped a large number of soldiers for later consumption. The captain reluctantly sends out the last 3 of her capable knights on the rescue mission to relieve the captive soldiers of their imminent doom. The team consists of Rudim, a straight shooting square heading the entire rescuing operation, Calix, a wisecracking square who's surprisingly durable, and Orlando Bloom. Or I guess you could call him Meliko, but he's also squares or whatever. And last but certainly not least, Uvula, who became a last-minute addition after the 3 bared witness to his innate cornbread-powered strength, in which he is tasked with the all-too-important duty of carrying all their stuff. The 4 make their way to the tower when we get our first true glimpse at its awesomeness, and it's absolutely massive. What is that, like 3 inches? Maybe 4? Man, that's like pretty big, right? The numbers don't lie, ladies. I mean, I'm trying to tell you now. Come get me. Hakeem, Netflix, Orlando Bloom, and Uvula start their journey to reach the stomping grounds of the soldier-napping monster within the tower's walls and begin painstakingly climbing each and every floor of the tower, and it is at this point that I realize I have been duped into reading an essentially glorified comic book about dungeon crawling. Water's already warm now. Might as well take that piss. That's how the saying goes, right? The Cuatro Amigos tread onward through the decrepit, crumbling ancient walls of the dungeon, taking extra care not to stir any of the abominable horrors that lay dormant within its crypts. Disarmed by his spooky surroundings, Juva manages to walk straight off the edge of a chasm and drops like 50 feet into shallow water and gets up as if he just took a slight tumble. Are you good, bro? Listen, man, I know this job didn't exactly come with the best health insurance package or one at all for that matter, but you should really go to the hospital, man. Your ankles have to be about as sturdy as Crayola chalk right now. Thanks to his literal slip-up, Yuva accidentally destroyed one of the 2 barrels he'd been carrying as cargo for the squad, barrels that happened to be filled to the brim with salt. Before we even ask ourselves what they had our boy carrying that salt for, we must take a step back and comprehend just how insane this is. I got a D+ in algebra, which is passing in Ohio, so I think I can whip crack a few numbers, alright? Alright, looking at Yuva's stature, he seems to be a fairly modest height and width, so let's just go ahead and say he's of average build, at least on the outside. The inside's a different story. The average adult male shoulder width lies somewhere around 16 inches, so let's just be very conservative and go with that. Looking at some of the panels, we can see that the barrels extend a little bit past Yuva's shoulders while sitting on his back. If we use a head-on shot in the 16-inch width of Yuva's shoulders as a reference point, the barrels jut out about 4 more inches in Yuva's shoulders on each side, which would theoretically make each barrel 24 inches tall. After a whole ass hour of barrel searching on the internet, I found a few sellers offering 24-inch tall by 18-inch long by 18-inch wide barrels in which they listed their maximum volume as 15 gallons. So now we have a 15-gallon barrel filled with salt. This is medieval time, so it was likely sea salt, and the salt is pretty much being used to do battle, so I doubt they brought their finest wares, therefore it's likely coarse. Differing sources say coarse sea salt weighs somewhere between 4 and 10 ounces per cup. We'll go ahead with 10 ounces by majority rule of the sources, making a gallon of sea salt 116 ounces. There's 16 ounces in a pound, so a gallon of coarse sea salt is 10 pounds, making a 15-gallon barrel of sea salt 150 pounds. Double that and you got yourself 300 pounds, not to mention the wood and the steel barrels, which can weigh as much as 50 pounds per barrel. With 2 of those plus 30 gallons of salt, you got 400 pounds, give or take, or 181 kilograms for you non-concussion football enjoyers. This motherfucker is nonchalantly carrying this bullshit over 12 flights of stairs, not even on his shoulders above his center of gravity, mind you, with a straight posture on his back without breaking a sweat. Not to mention his like 50-foot fall. Brother, your ankles aren't chalk, they're not even powder. Your ankles are plasma. They've been reduced back into the primordial soup from which they've came. But hey, that's just a theory. My bullshit math aside, the team is suddenly rushed by a gang of undead soldiers whose sole purpose is to pretty much give our men some time to farm a little aura. Especially Rudim, who just thinks he's so cool. You think he's so tough? Tell you what, I don't appreciate your arrogance. Got a cool sword, got a cool helmet, yeah, whatever. Fucking square. They make quick work of the undead and then just continue their mission. Rudim reveals that other than making black eyed peas actually edible, the salt serves a real purpose to subjugate the monster they plan to slay, as it absolutely hates salt. Which should lead us to believe it may or might not just be like a giant slug or snail or something. 20 floors in, they obtain some groovy healing mushrooms from a skeleton dressed way out of fashion and then happen upon the next obstacle in their path, a very large, very heavily clad guard defending the very same door that they need to pass through as it so happens. He's also speaking some random bullshit. I don't know what it means and I don't feel like translating it. After some quick teamwork and Yuva doing absolutely jack shit, they managed to take the guard down, completely eviscerating him in the process. Holy shit, I did not expect it to be so gory though. Oh my god. Literally no time elapses when Calyx gets hit with the shot by an undead archer who evaded detection. Alright though, his football career may be over, but he'll live on no thanks to the magic bullshit panacea mushrooms they got from the skeleton. With Calyx left behind to recover, Yuva, Rudim, and Orlando Bloom must go on to the monster's lair to finally slay the beast. They devise a plan for Rudim and Orlando to distract and kite the monster so that Yuva can wait up high undetected and dump salt onto it, which should weaken it enough to be killed. All lights are green when they rush the lair, and what the f is that? That's not a slug nor a snail, oh, it's not a giant snail or slug. It's a giant floating, scaling, man-eating woman with a mouth and eyes in its neck, prehensile tongue, and ultra-thick, semi-permeable layer of mucus surrounding it. Duh. How could I possibly be so stupid? I forget myself, really. Shit goes down on sight and violence once again ensues when Rudim and Orlando Bloom entice a chase out of the monster. Orlando Bloom is the first one to go down when he gets Orlando Boom, which brings us to Rudim, who continues the chase up to the target location underneath Yuva, who is absolutely shitting bricks under the pressure right now. Right before he can get the abominable Woe Man fully into the position, Rudim gets Rubined and falls short of Yuva's throwing distance. But oh, you must not know. This is Yuva, renowned thrower of salt. And there he goes. There he goes. There he goes.
Don't do this. Get up. Let's get up. Don't do it. Man, don't do it. Don't do it. Look at your family.
And down goes the monster's defenses. And probably their motor skills too, as I'm pretty sure Yuva just pulverized Spawn with his T3 through T11 in his back. By Orlando Bloom's decree, the salt turned the monster's mucus in the water, which is not really how osmosis, the real thing that causes salt to kill slugs and snails. But I mean, it can for sure be a little confusing, and I myself am a dumbass, so go off Legolas. I mean Orlando, fucking Eliquo. Some fucking how Yuva ended up under the creature despite landing on top of it, but he manages to get up unscathed. Never mind. Right before we can witness Yuva penetrate his sword into the Slugushy, here comes this ugly bastard again ranting and raving about, "Oh no, you can't slay the Slugushy, please. I love my Slugushy. It's harmless. Should I be reminding you that you and your merry band of bellends nearly perished to one singular Slugushy? And what do you think you'll do against me? Lay down your sword or I'll kill the princess right now." "He intends to take me to the highest floor of the tower. Until that happens, he cannot kill me. Soldier, worry not for my safety. Devote thyself wholly to combat." "Shut up, you twat! And even if I don't kill the princess... what in? What are you and your lot gonna do, eh? Go on then. Come off it. You're not going to do shit, pussy, are you? I'd like to see you try." "Oh, scary. Big man, eh? Well, guess what? I'm from the mean streets of Birmingham. Your cutlery don't scare me. I've seen children wield plastic forks with more ferocity than the loss of you. Now don't be a proper nonce. Lay down your sword. Join my side. I guarantee we've got a better life insurance packer." Oh no! After sticking the Slugushy, Yuva recovers from its corpse a round, shiny stone. "Take that to the 100th floor. I will give you the princess in exchange. Swat." Our merry band of felons complete their rescue mission and begin freeing the trapped soldiers within the monster's den. After a night of rest back at the fortress, Yuva, Eliquo, Rudim, and a freshly healed Calyx and a little bit of extra backup from soldiers Baked and Beans, they're not important, so this will be their names, head right back into the terrible fortress to embark on their new mission, get to the 100th floor of the tower to rescue the princess from the big mean necromancer. God, I hate that guy. With the great chymous insect, colloquially known as the Slugussi, dead, the soldiers make quick work of the earlier floors and with the help of some shortcuts actually make it all the way to the 80th floor, which is quite literally one big, fat, giant, huge, large, humongous, gigantic, extensive, ginormous, massive, substantial Brobdingnagian open room miles in diameter. So open, in fact, that you can see light from the other side, though very far away. They somehow manage to find the one staircase on this impossible floor leading to the next portion of the tower, only to find it's guarded by a huge dragon! Half of a huge dragon. I heard it reach fire. You heard what? Oh, fuck this. And that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed my reading of the first arc of Tower Dungeon, and I look forward to you looking forward to my next recap. Good night, everyone! Alright. I gotta admit, Tower Dungeon has low-key had a grip on me. I've literally been having dreams of this stuff. It's haunting me, man. I really want to cover more of the series, but I'm being so for real when I say I need you to go read this yourself. I'm always skeptical when reading a new series, especially when it's been recommended to me. Dare I fib and say that it didn't take a bit for Tower Dungeon to grow on me, but once you're in, you're in. It's art, it's homegrown feel, it's character dynamics, it's monsters, it's setting designs, it's world building. There's so many things that kind of just make Tower Dungeon a sleeping hit. Elephant in the room, the premise is as old as fucking time. The story doesn't really try to subvert your expectations either. Very much a Sleeping Beauty type vibe going on here, but I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. As an aspiring writer and very uncreative person, I know that making anything original is actually very difficult. I submit to the belief that execution can, in many instances, take precedence over originality when it comes to media. That is, of course, when it's executed very well. This manga is no exception. I mentioned earlier that Tower Dungeon was created by author and illustrator Tsutomu Nihei, who also made Blame, Abara, Knights of Sidonia, Opossums, the Wolverine manga Snicked, and some other less notable works. It's so funny that Nihei, who is usually known for his dark, gritty, hyper-detailed works, ended up making a fairly light, easily digestible manga to read, at least compared to his other ones.
You got soft hands, boy.
It's obvious that the art of Tower Dungeon is noticeably more simple and less dialed in than that of his predecessors. As for the exact reason for why that is, I am not sure. But I don't know, man. Maybe he just used a different medium than before. Maybe he had less or no assistance, or maybe he even just wanted the new series to look different than the others, especially since he'd be tackling an all-new genre. Not too much on my boy, though. The art is by no means worse. It's just different. Though it may have a sort of rough exterior, you can absolutely see Nihei's decades of expertise shining through his work with how he only chooses to add in the details to characters and surroundings when they're necessary and cutting back when they're not. This all in all makes for a much more fluid and casual reading experience that still keeps you hooked and immersed, and I believe it was done for that very purpose. Another big contrast, and probably my favorite thing, is the dialogue. There are definitely fantasy manga out there wielding better, more extensive world building with painstaking details sprinkled throughout their entire plot, but this manga just makes it too easy, choosing to instead imply circumstances rather than to outright describe them. Plus, the character interactions are very charming, and you kind of get a good grasp of every single person introduced, what they stand to achieve, and even how they plan to do so. This is all done not with tragic backstories and pandering monologues, but with entertaining exchanges and daring standoffs between factions. I yap so much about such menial things because dialogue can really make or break a series for me. It's the main thing that keeps me locked in and invested in a book or show's characters. Tower Dungeon isn't super witty or contemporary or anything. Sure as shit it's no JJK or Chainsaw Man, but it has those similar familiar stylings, which is funny because Tsutomu with his work Abara actually inspired Tatsuki Fujimoto in the making of Chainsaw Man, which I still stand by as one of the best dialogue writers in the medium, like Tarantino level shit. This is even more interesting considering the fact that Fujimoto publicly endorsed Tower Dungeon as an enjoyable manga he was reading. So it comes back full circle. I am genuinely a little reluctant not to cover more of Tower Dungeon, especially since I read all of it in like a few hours. So if there's enough demand for it, I would gladly cover more of the series at the behest of your interest. But for the time being, please, please, please go read it for yourself. You will not regret it. Beginning its serialization in monthly shonen series, Tower Dungeon has been killing it for a little over a year now and grows only more popular with an already loyal fanbase. It even got nominated for the 2024 Next Manga Award, but of course, it lost it to Kagurabachi. And do trust, the art that you just saw is by far one of the worst in the manga. Because it just keeps getting better. There's 15 chapters collected in the 2 volumes, and the first English volume is set to drop this spring, but for now though, you can legally read it on Kodansha's official manga website. I know 15 chapters doesn't sound like a lot, but mind you, this video covers chapter 1. It's been real though, fellas. I'm gonna go back to sleep and dream about all the awesome adventures I'll be having with my pet slug Gussie. Yes. Tally-ho now. Ta-ta.